from there and added that into my Doubling Season deck, and that helped out a lot because now you just have Doubling Season as a value card. It's not a combo piece. You just go, turn 5 Doubling Season, turn 6 Skeletal Vampire. You still get 4 bats. You can pay 5 and make 4 bats by sacking 1. It just gets absurd. So.
What are we looking at here, Rashad? This feels like it's a match that Gavin should be playing, but he's not. Rashad is being very excited. This is your deck, right, Gavin?
Yeah,
up on the
my
top.
deck. I feel like I should probably get back into the other room.
Maybe we should send you over. I don't know where Rich is at, but I'll just commentate this, and you better go find out who the heck is playing your deck. Oh, no! Look who it is. It's Richard hanging at the top playing.
All right, I better go rattle him a little bit.
You better hurry up, buddy.
He's on my side.
Yeah, right. Good talking to you, Gavin. Go get him. I see Rich up there. He looks like he's deep in thought, actually playing the matchup as Gavin runs back in. Let's take a look. Oh, no, Gavin saw him. And we see Rich. He looks really guilty. Let's not lie. He stands there, and he lets Gavin take the seat back. There's only been one Watery Grave played here. And it looks like Rich might be giving Gavin tips on how to play the deck. All right, so everybody gets a good laugh. And it looks like that wasn't a real one, as I see that there's been a concession here of some sort. And Rich is running back in after his foray into the actual competition here.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
What were you doing in there?
Okay, let me tell you.
We're commentating. We're not playing in the event.
Let me tell you that it is tough. I sat there. I looked at like 4 land, 3 really good spells. So obviously I mulliganed that for him, and then I looked at 6, and that was perfectly good. So I mulliganed that. So then eventually I ended up with 4 land and a Signet. So I kept that. Turn 1, Watery Grave. I sort of paid the 2 life.
Oh, you did just pay the 2 life.
I paid the 2 life.
Because what could go wrong there?
Because I wanted to represent a lightning bolt or something like that.
With your Watery Grave.
With my Watery Grave, that's right.
Did you explain this to Gavin, by the way, just as some pointers so he can...
I've got to be honest, Gavin, once he finally got back in the room, was quite anxious that the game should be restarted, and I can't think why.
All right. Okay, yes, I will bring that one up. So we're going to start with Mark Rosewater against James Loading Ready Run. So let me bring that one up on my screen here, and we'll see what's going on there. Nate Price, helping us out with coverage here, is running back and forth and giving us the good stuff. All right, so we're underway here already, and we have James from Loading Ready Run on the bottom part of your screen with Mark Rosewater on the top. Looks like Mark had a turn 1 Call of the Conclave. It's essentially a Watch Wolf, although it does make a token which can be copied many different ways. So he's got a 3/3 M token. And another one on the other side of the battlefield has been also produced by a Call of the Conclave. So it looks like we have a mirror match here. Wayfaring Temple is going to enter the battlefield for Mark Rosewater. Now, it's only a 2/2 currently.
Yeah. That Wayfaring Temple, every time I've seen one, it's been on about turn 13, and it's been a 1/1.
It's been a 1/1.
Whatever the match, wherever the Wayfaring Temples are, they're 1/1s for 3. That seems to be what happens.
Yeah, this card is not the most impressive card to play on turn 3 out of Mark Rosewater's deck, but it'll get the job done. Let's see if James has one of his own. I believe he's running it as well. Oop. No, we're going to change our mind. James is going to think things through. He can attack here if he wants, offer a trade. He does have his own Wayfaring Temple, so we have an exact mirror so far. Both players with turn 2 Call of the Conclave followed up by a Wayfaring Temple. And I think James is just going to be content to pass the turn back here. Yep, no fights. And pass it back. So the first person out of this matchup to hit something that makes 2 to 4 tokens of any sort is going to have a huge advantage.
So you've got things like Scatter the Seeds in this
That's
matchup
right.
from the first time token makers.
Now we do see that James has Vidu Ghazi, the City Tree, and as you can see, he can pay 4 mana to start and tap it to start making Saprolings. Now that's a little bit more of a late game, kind of an inevitability play, but he can use that at instant speed anytime he wants. Once he gets up to the requisite five lands here. A second Wayfaring Temple. Now, this is going to grow both of the other ones, so now they're both 3/3s. Again, though, perhaps not the strongest play at this point in the game, but Mark Rosewater looks like he has missed his land drop, and a second Wayfaring Temple is what he's going to do. Now, this currently doesn't look amazing, but I got to say that if he can come up with the Scatter the Seeds or something in the next few turns, these Wayfaring Temples are going to be massive.
They're actually going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm watching Aaron Forsyth up against Smitty. Smitty has opened up with Niv Magus Elemental, Goblin Electromancer, and Gutter Snipe, which is a pretty decent combination. Aaron, meanwhile, has Birds of Paradise, Centaur Healer, and Selesnya Guildmage.
How big is the Elemental?
It's just a 3/4 at the
only
moment.
a 1-mana 3/4? Okay. All right, so right now James has 4 cards in hand, and he's got 4 mana available, so he's trying to decide what line he wants to take to get through. Now, the way is clear. If he wants to attack with his Centaur, he can. If he wants to attack with the Wayfaring Temple, he could as well. Maybe do a instant speed, make some seeds trick. You know, there's a lot of different things that he can be doing. It looks like he's got something in the main phase. And it is a supply. Now, this is half of supply and demand, but he's going to get X 1/1 green Saproling creature tokens, which in this case is going to be 2. Now, we were talking about getting some more creatures on the battlefield. He's done that, and he is not going to attack with his Wayfaring Temple. If he did, he would basically just be trading for another Wayfaring Temple as the Centaur, and the Temple would jump in front. So that wasn't the strongest play, the supply play there, but it's not bad. It is definitely direction that James wants to be going, starting to pump out as many tokens as possible. Again, these guys are looking to untap and make just a ton of these things and take their Wayfaring Temple over the top. If one of them gets to attack profitably into the other guy's board and start making more Centaurs, things are going to get crazy. Back on Mark Rosewater, 6 cards in hand. Still looks like he might be stuck on 3 lands. He's been able to cast a spell every turn, though, because his mana curve is very low. 3 lands actually isn't that bad for him at all. He probably wouldn't mind getting up to 4. It's a Dryad Militant, making 2 4/4 Wayfaring Temples for Rosewater here.
Yeah, the old Selesnya mirror match can get pretty busy pretty quickly.
Yeah, there's going to be a ton of creatures on the battlefield here, and you know, currently all of them are just kind of big vanilla creatures, and Rosewater's going to get aggressive here. He is going to send in with both Wayfaring Temples. He's offering trades. If James wants, he can block one Wayfaring Temple on the other, and then like a Centaur and a Saproling on the other. But if he were to do that, and if Mark has a combat trick, things could get very ugly for James.
Yeah, and James is all tapped out. I mean, the convention here is that you can't really block because you are tapped out and your opponent is not.
That's right. Now, it looks like James has decided just to block one Wayfaring Temple here. Now, this is a pretty dangerous one. If there's a combat trick, his Wayfaring Temple is going to go down. If there's a creature at instant speed, you know, Selesnya Charm is a card that could be played here. And that's exactly what we see here.
Yeah.
Although he did it a little differently than I would have. He decided to give it +2/+2 and trample. I think I just would have made a 2/2 Vigilance Knight here. That would have also made the Wayfaring Temple bigger. The difference here, though, is that Mark does still kill the creature. He does get in a little bit of damage, and he's going to get to populate this with this creature, and this one's going to get through to populate as well. Now, this was going to happen either way, but he does get that second populate, so maybe Rosewater's play is actually better here. You know, this is going to make the Wayfaring Temples bigger, and it's going to create 2 more 3/3 Centaurs. You can't argue with that. Wow, look at that board.
Yeah, that's pretty epic. And again, you just think, a bold move. How about we go with that? A bold move to block when you're all tapped out.
But what is he going to do? Take 8 damage and let him get the 2 Centaurs anyway? Like, he's in such a bad position.
Yeah, sure. I can tell you that Smitty, his Niv Magus Elemental is up to 5/6 now. So that continues to pile on the pressure against Aaron, whose board position is now lots of land and a Birds of Paradise, and that's your lot.
What's Aaron's life total in that?
He's at 13, but the thing is he's basically chumping each turn. He's had a Selesnya Guildmage die, a Centaur Healer die.
Okay.
Now he's down to Birds of Paradise. So it's basically Niv Magus Elemental is being an abyss.
I see.
Every turn.
Understood. All right, so it looks like James has drawn nothing as he just passed the turn back after his draw step. Mark finally hit that second landing. He's going to play Tristani Selesnya's Voice, the guild leader, if you will, for Return to Ravnica Selesnya. He can pay 1 green white and tap it to populate. That's the most key thing here. He can also gain a bunch of life, but he's clearly way ahead on the life total race anyway, and I think he's just going to attack with everything.
Yeah, this is savagely unfair now.
This is just a savage beating.
B. Tings.
B. Tings. Seasons beatings? That was a
card.
Yeah. All right, now James does have a play here. He's got his own Celestia Charm. He's going to use it on one of the Wayfaring Temples to exile it.
Yep.
So that's going to shrink the other one down a little bit, but unfortunately not quite enough so that James can actually triple block it and take it down. So he's going to throw 1 token in front. That makes a lot of sense. It's going to prevent a full 6 damage, and it's also going to prevent a populate, and he's going to trade Centaur tokens and take out the Dryad Militant with 1 Saproling. It's going to leave James with no board at all, but it is going to stem the bleeding a little bit here.
Talking of stemming the bleeding, Aaron Forsyth has made Armada Worm plus Chum, pair of 5/5s.
Wow, that's a game changer for sure. If Smitty has him in range, you would think that Smitty can find the reach to get there, but if he needs to do a bunch of attacking still, that's just not the case anymore.
Yeah, well, he has inaction injunction, Smitty, so one part of the Armada Worm won't be doing anything this turn, so Aaron's still in trouble. And Bubba wins, beats Shade 2-0 in round 3 of Unified Ravnica. So well done to Bubba. He takes the match. So the community on the comeback trail.
Back on the feature match here, James LRR, things have taken a horrific turn for him. He has still missed another land drop, and the best he could muster for his turn was making 2 1/1 Saprolings with a supply and demand.
That's fantastic. Things have taken a horrific turn. It's like they've run out of petrol half a mile from the Bates Motel. It's like, it's taken a horrific turn for James.
And we see a Loxodon Smiter.
The brick.
Yeah, is going to come down. That's also going to gain 4 life thanks to Tristani, although the 4 life isn't super relevant here. I think Tristani's just an attacker at this point, and I think we're going to see just everybody pile in again. James does have 2 blocks with which to stay alive. He can block the Wayfaring Temple, and he can block one of the Centaurs, but these are just chump blocks to not die this turn. He really is in a lot of trouble, as we see Mark Rosewater on the verge of taking down game 1 against James from Loading Ready Run.
So Mark Rosewater, 2-0.
He's 2-0 in matches.
Yeah.
He's looking to go 3-0.
He's going to run the table.
Yeah, so if you got a chance to see his Tales from the Pit, his popular comic that he puts up on Twitter, Maro254 is his Twitter handle. He did it about us and about us commentating on his match.
Okay.
And comparing his play to some type of like interpretive dance or something.
Oh my God.
Because, you know, he's not known. Okay, and sure enough, Mark Rosewater does finish off James in game 1 here.
Okay, let me show you Aaron Forsyth against Smitty while we move away from there, Rashad, if we could. If we could move across. There we are. And you have Goblin Electromancer, 2/2 for Smitty down at the bottom here. You have Gutter Snipe, dealing 2 damage to each opponent. You have a pair of Nibmagus Elementals. This one is a 1/2. This is the big one that's been doing all the damage. 4 counters on there from 2 exiled instants, which turn out to be Repeal and Giga Drowse over there. And then you've got a Wee Dragonauts, Conley Woods' finest favourite card.
He said it was his favourite card ever.
It's the Wee Dragonauts coming to fly over to kill you all. It's the Scottish card,
I
you
used
see.
to really like that card.
The Wee Dragonauts.
Said that. Yeah.
Yeah, every time it attacks, that's what you'll get. You'll get the Scottish accent, just so you know.
Oh, man.
So the Worm 5/5, Trostani Selesnia's Voice 2/5 here, and now Centaur Healer, and 1/2, the front half, if you will, of Armada Worm.
So it looks like the Wizards team has decided to split up the Tristanis.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, some with Aaron. Presumably,
it is legendary.
Presumably, Mark started with all of them, and then Aaron said, I'm your boss, and I'll have some of those. I believe that's how hierarchy tends to work.
Could absolutely work. A quick
so
update.
in comes the the Gutter Snipe, the Nivmagus, and the Wee Dragonauts coming to kill you through the air. So in they come, and you're welcome. Aaron at 12, Smitty at 18. There's going to be a bit of time while Aaron thinks about blocks here. Trostani gets in front of Gutter Snipe to kill it. 5/5 gets in front of Goblin Electromancer, ideally to kill it. Other half of Armada Worm, where's that going to go? Anywhere? in front of the 5/6 to just die. Interesting. And now he swaps that round, trying to decide which half of his Armada Worm he wants to go in front of the 5/6 Niv Mages. Remember, Aaron vulnerable because he's tapped out here, and Smitty only has 2 cards, but let's see whether either of those are going to do something. They are, because it's going to be an ability from We Dragonauts. You see the stat counting down, the ability from Gutter Snipe. That's giving something double strike. Boy, oh boy. Double strike to a multicolored card. That's the We Dragonauts. They're 3/3. Double strike. Goodness me, that's a pounding. So now Aaron is down to just 2 life here. The We Dragonauts are still there for you, as well as the 5/6 Niv Magus Elemental and Goblin Electromancer. On the other side, can Aaron gain a bunch of life with Tristani Selesnia's voice? He's probably going to need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. It's another Armada Worm. Ability from Tristani's voice. This is haymaker magic, as we like to say. Goodness me, Aaron back up to 7. And now just look at that Aaron Forsyth board.
Now he's at 12.
5, 7, 10,
man.
15. He has 20 power on his side of the board.
Wow.
And 15 of them trample. Goodness gracious me. You had a little update, Marshall. What do you got for us?
So John Laux, while he received some beatings early, was able to come back with quite an impressive board. A couple of Angels of Serenity and a couple of Court Hussars made short work of his game 1. So he is now up a game versus Sean G.
Wow. Mike Turian 3-0.
Very quickly, I might add. Conley Woods falling to my turn. We didn't even get a chance to see one of the games there.
So Aaron at 12, Smitty now at 13, since that Armada Worm attacked. So Goblin Electromancer comes down for Smitty, but you know, you start to feel the window has passed, because with Tristani down, that is going to be pretty grim. The Dragonauts are going to come in, and what does Aaron do about that? Answer. Takes 1 damage, which is pretty miserable return for Smitty there. Aaron with 2 cards. Does he have more life gain coming down from Tristani? Wait to see. More importantly, is he piling in? It's interesting though, that Niv Magus Elemental is 5/6 does mean that Aaron can't quite attack with utter impunity, because one of those tramplers will die, leaving the Niv Magus Elemental still alive. So that's an interesting thing going on there, as so he's going to send in the 3/5/5 tramplers. That's the plan. 1 will die. Currently, the 2 Electromancers would not be enough to trade off for another one. So Smitty has to decide where he's going to assign that 3rd blocker, or even if he will. No, he's just going to block 2, so 3 will come through from that Armada Worm. You see the 5 damage there on the Niv Magus Elemental. Smitty is down to 5, and Aaron looks to be in real control of this one right now.
Over on one of the side tables, where I'm taking a look at Trick Jarrett versus Jackie Lee. And it looks like Trick is thinking about what he wants to do. Jackie has got a Veraska on the table and no other permanents besides lands, and Trick has just some lands and a Drag Mangler out. It looks like he's going to play... Ooh, he's playing Nightmare Void. This is the 2nd time we've seen this card. That card's pretty brutal here.
Well, we may not be long before we get over to that match, Marshall, because here Aaron is continuing to pile creatures onto the table. He's gaining life little bits at a time. That time it was supply and demand that just got him some saprolings, gained him some more life, puts him up to 13.
Wow, Tristani doing serious work there, because
and there's your result. Yep, absolutely. Aaron Forsyth takes that one. Was very exciting for Smitty early, but once the Armada Worm started coming down, Aaron took control of the game, thanks to Tristani Selesnia's
I want to mention
voice.
something about the match that we just saw there. Now we're back on the other screen. There's a Nightmare Void is on the stack currently, but that last match between Aaron and Smitty, they were both 2-0 coming in. There's a 14-point swing riding on the outcome of that match.
Oh, wow.
You know, those are 7-point
So the community
to the
really,
winners.
really wants this.
Really wants
It's
that.
the 95-yard interception for a 6-pick touchdown.
God, I love it that
essentially.
you know football, though. That is like one of the sweetest. Like, you know American
The
sports
14-point
really
turnaround.
well. Yeah.
I love them. I love them all.
No, I know you do, and it's
Yeah.
just awesome. All right, so it looks like there was Nightmare Void has already been cremated by Jackie. Now there's a second one that was just resolved last turn. Dragmangler, oh wow, has just decided to attack Jackie, it looks like, leaving Vraska alive. And there's a Ribbons of Night for Jackie. It's going to take out the Dragmangler. Right now, Trick has no creatures on board, so even with the scavenge ability that you can see here on your screen for the Dragmangler, it's not going to be able to be used, at least currently. Now the Nightmare Void could really become a tough problem, but there's a Coiling Oracle on the stack. This is, I know a lot of people who love this card. Is this a Rich Hagen card?
What's that, Dick?
Coiling Oracle. Are you a fan of this one?
Not
I mean,
especially.
it's got blue in it. It's not only blue though.
No, it's fine. I mean, bear in mind, I hate snakes
Oh, you just I
with a
didn't know.
fiery
Do
passion.
you hate snakes that have little human-like bodies attached to them as well?
Snakes, period.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. So Coiling Oracle, though, you got a chance to look at it. There is a sweet card that either is going to draw you a card or even accelerate your mana, and still leave behind a 1/1 creature for value. Now, did Vraska not change? I didn't see what Vraska did. I'm assuming that she
Didn't
plus.
see a move.
Thought she was on 3 already, though.
I thought she was on 3 as well. You're just checking back up there.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look here, and I don't. It says reveals her hand, which contains Coiling Oracle, Watery Grave, Farseek, Ribbons of Night. Jackie Lee gets attacked, falls to 8. Jackie Lee casts Ribbons of Night, spending blue. She casts Coiling Oracle. She puts a Coiling Oracle.
Yep.
I think she just didn't use Vraska that turn.
Oh, okay.
Might have just been an oversight. There's a chance I missed something, but I think she maybe just didn't use it. Okay, so a few other people are noting on the stream that she missed it. I think she just missed the activation, which is kind of a big bummer. If you get Vraska up to 4, then you can minus her to destroy target non-land permanent, so whatever he plays, you could blow up. All right, so it is back on Jackie.
Yep.
All right, another Coiling Oracle is going to come into play for Jackie here. So she's just grinding out an advantage here. And there's a Putrefy, which has been revealed from the Coiling Oracle. Get a look at Putrefy here. Destroy target artifact or creature, and it can't be regenerated. And there's also a Farseek for Jackie. And I'm assuming that she will then plus Vraska as well. So Jackie is sitting with 4 cards in hand. She clearly has enough mana. She might be trying to set up the combo. Trick has 6 cards in hand, and he's got a decent amount of mana here. He's got 2, 3, 4. He's got 5 mana available to him, and he's going to need to find something to do with it. And it looks like Jackie is going to battle with her Coiling Oracle. Trick's deck does have a couple of haste creatures in the form of like a Dragmangler, but I don't think it's a big issue for Jackie, as she does have the other Coiling Oracle.
I need you to come right across to my monitor right the hell now, please, Richard Miller, because you are looking at a doubling season in play at the top of the screen from Dan Emmons, and you are seeing on the stack the ultimate ability of Jace Architect of
Oh,
Thought.
man.
So this is it, boys and girls. You're going to see it all happen here live in the Dan Emmons match. So let's rock and roll, Marshall. Let's see what we've got over here. So doubling season, basically what goes on here.
Yeah, so we just had Gavin explain the rough
Okay.
outline of what happens to this on the stream.
So you can see that we are going to go and get a World Spine Worm
What is that doing in somebody's
out
deck?
of Heath Newton's deck, plus another Jace Architect of Thought. This arrives with 8. Sacrifice.
So
do the
he
-8.
ultimates Jace
He
right
ultimates
now.
Jace right here, right now. So he will go and look again into Heath Newton's deck. I'd like to remind you that World Spine Worm is not legendary. So potentially, he's got more than one. So we'll soon see. Top quality entertainment. It's not fair, really. Dan Emmons shouldn't be this good and this good looking.
Oh, man.
He
an
will go
Angel
and
of
get
Serenity.
Angel of Serenity. So that is going to turn up.
And it's going to take out
is
a
gonna
good
take-
chunk of the board here.
Yeah. And for Dan, he's going to go and get another Jace, Architect of Thought.
So this is the third Jace that has entered the battlefield this
Yeah,
turn?
so you see there's 1, 2 already in the graveyard. There's number 3 over there. Here's the Angel of Serenity, taking away Gatecreeper Vine and Armada Worm and Armada Worm. Now he's going to ultimate Jace, Architect of Thought again. Don't try this at home, it's very dangerous. He's going to do this with 8. Wit's End has entered
the
Exile Zone.
Exile Zone. This is the really bad news.
Target player discards his hand.
Now, if we're looking at Heath, he has 5
An
cards
Armada
in his
Worm.
hand right now.
Armada Worm has entered the Exile Zone. So that Wit's End is going to see Heath put 5 cards into his graveyard. Shortly after that, Armada Worm. There
Oh
it is.
my
Condemn.
gosh.
Armada Worm.
This is just
Mountain,
disgusting. And we
Demon
see a
Fire,
concession.
Axebane Guardian. You wuss. What do you mean a concession? Play it out, man. Armada Worm would have joined the team for Dan Emmons. So the important bit there was that there was doubling season, and then there was Jace and Jace and Jace and Jace and a Worldspine Worm and an Angel of Serenity and an Armada Worm and a Wit's End. And now, back to your regular programming.
Jeez, it's going to be hard to compete with that one, but we will try. Now, Vraska did take another turn off, but it looks like we're back on track with plussing Vraska. And this is interesting. We see a Golgari Grave Troll on the side for Trick, and this is kind of funny because normally we think of him as a dredge card for the constructed dredge decks that run around the formats where they're legal, like Legacy. But he's actually just been cast for value here, and he's a 9/9 for 5. Not too bad at all. All right, as we come back here, though, we're on Jackie's turn. Like I said, another turn went by without Vraska going up. So she could have been at 6, but instead is at 4. Now being minus, probably just to take out... Yes, to take out the Grave Troll. And you can pay 1 to remove a +1/+1 counter from the Grave Troll to regenerate it, which Trick immediately does. So I don't know if that's the best use of a Vraska trigger, just making him shrink it down by only 1. There is a Plague Boiler on the stack now for Jackie, and it does enter the battlefield. So at the beginning of your upkeep, you get to put a counter on it, and you can pay 1 black-green to put a Plague counter on it, or remove 1 from it. When Plague Boiler counter has 3 or more Plague counters on it, sacrifice it. If you do, destroy all non-land permanents.
Well, if we got Jackie in to talk about the Planeswalker after the match, you could be a Vraska Raska.
What does that mean?
It means you could ask her about
Oh, Vraska Asker?
Yeah. Don't make me explain it on air, Marshall.
Wait, there's also Ask Her.
That's what yeah, you could.
Well, there's Asker, and then there's Ask
That's right.
Her.
That's right. You could take it either way you want.
I'm
Shall
not
I add
doing
it to
that.
the not happening list?
Yeah, can we just put it on the
Okay.
list and just call it good?
Now, is that Vraska you don't want me to ask about, or Jackie Lee?
So Golgari Charm goes on the stack here.
Vraska.
Ooh, and it's going to be the mode of -1/-1 to all your creatures, and that is going to allow the Golgari Grave Troll sitting at 7/7 currently. Now that's because of the Golgari Charm, and it is going to attack. Who's it going to attack? Jackie's sitting at 12. All right, so it did decide to attack Jackie. She drops down to 5, and does she have enough time to get this Plague Boiler active? She's got 1. That's 3 mana, 3 mana, and 3 mana. So yes, she will be able to, during her upkeep, blow up the Plague Boiler, and that's going to take care of the Grave Troll, except for that it's going to be really tough. Oh.
Gerard.
We see Gerard enter the battlefield as an 11/11.
That's better.
Now ideally he would like to have been able to sacrifice it here because that just would have been the game. But as it stands, he was careful to leave up the 1. I don't know why you'd play Gerard though, because this Plague Boiler is going to go off. So why would you play Gerard there? It was his last card too. He can get it back, but wouldn't you just wait?
Well, don't you? Does it force? Does it force the?
Either one does.
Okay.
Although I have to say that, you know, the real problem here is this Golgari Grave Troll does have the ability to regenerate. You know, and this doesn't have any clause about it. It's just destroy all non-land permanents. So it's going to go up to 3. Everything is going to get destroyed, including Gerard. But as we see here, Golgari Grave Troll is going to just regenerate, and I think that's going to be it. Unless Jackie has something to follow up that can get in the way of this Grave Troll or even destroy it again. There's a lot of cards that Jackie can have, although she's only got 1 in her hand here. Make it 2 after her draw step, and she's got to come up with something right now because this Grave Troll is active and it is lethal.
I have Wizard Sean against John Laux on my monitor right now, where there are 468 mana-producing permanents and very little else. There's an Angel of Despair for Laux.
Well, that's something.
And a Liev, yeah, sure. And a Liev Sky Knight, which has been face-fettered on Sean's side of the board. So it looks like actually Laux is getting ahead in this one. The life totals are now 34 to 12.
All right, now we're looking at a lethal attack here for WotC Trick, and in fact it is Jackie falls down to -12 as she couldn't find an answer to either the Golgari Grave Troll or the activated Svathgos, the Restless Tomb. All right.
Okay.
So why don't I switch over to the one that you were watching?
Okay. Wizard Sean against John Laux.
And you can see we're using the client here to watch all of our games. It's working quite well, I have to say. This client is still in beta.
Yes,
and
which means things go wrong from time to time.
Yeah, they do, but we haven't really had any issues, which is pretty sweet. I've used a lot of beta software before, and it's not very good.
I'm going to step out of the way, Marshall. I know you've got matches still to talk about, but we want to get as many of the community team in here, and we've got a winner from this round coming your way.
All right.
So you're going to hear a little high five off camera. Just in a moment. High five, Bubba. Good man. Well done.
Come on in, Bubba. We're taking a look at your teammate, John Laux. He's playing against Sean. Okay. Here, let me get your headset for you. It goes like that. And then this comes up like that. There he is. Hey, Bubba.
Hi.
Welcome to the booth.
Thanks.
So
Great to be
you
here.
are the first 2-time Community Cup participant,
I am.
which is quite an honor.
Yes, I was very surprised and excited to come back.
Yeah. It's been
So
great the second time?
It's been great guys, great the second time. It's the first time. Every year they've made improvements. You know, the first year it was, you know, kind of an afterthought. It was, hey, let's get this. You know, we Mick Gills came along and said, hey, we have some money in the promo budget left over. Let's bring some community members in.
Gotcha.
So I brought it in. It was very rushed, you know, very last minute. So we came in, had a great time, but it was the first year it was so hectic. We came in late on a Wednesday night. We played solid. We played 6 or 7 matches on Thursday, 6 or 7 matches on Friday, and then we left town.
Yeah, but this has been a little bit more spaced out.
Yeah, and there
was
almost no coverage. Nate did a little bit of text coverage that year, but there wasn't a whole lot of awareness about it. So how far it's come this year, and now this year with the video streaming, you know, thousands of people are tuning in just to watch.
Yeah, a lot of Twitter activity as well.
It's so great. Yeah, lots of Twitter activity. We've got lots of feedback on Twitter that we've been reading.
All right, let's take a look at this match here. So it looks like John has played Castigate. He's targeting Sean, and it looks like Sean says, nope, we're going to cancel that. And but John's board state looks pretty favorable. With Sean sitting at 12, and Laux is at 34, sitting at 6 cards in hand. He even has a second Castigate. Yeah, and he's got 2 Angels of Despair plus a Cortazar. There's a Condemn, which has entered the exiled zone, so that's what he took away. We can take a quick look here at what else was revolved. And there's a plane. So John has successfully whittled down Sean's hand to nothing and his life total to 1. He still has 5 cards in hand.
Sean still has 1 card in hand.
He has 1 extra card in hand. The other card was a Plains.
Okay.
So he's got 1 freshly drawn card. It's a Civic Saber. That is not going to do it. And it looks like John Laux does take this one down. All right, let's move over to any of the other. I'm checking the spreadsheet to see who's still open. And I think that was the last one. Rashad, can you confirm for that for whenever you get a chance? Yeah, it looks like everybody's done here. John manages to finish up there and finish 1 and 2 on the day. So, Bubba, why don't you talk to